Hi, I'm Traci Moon, psychic tarot card reader and transformational life coach. I want to talk today about having past traumas that hold us back from our highest potential. Sometimes when we have past traumas, we have a fear of even getting into another relationship out of fear that it could go as bad as the one it may have been before. And if we don't do the healing before we get into another relationship, the possibilities are very high that something will come up. So what we want to do is advanced clearing energetics. Sometimes we take on energy from other people and it's not really our energy. So, maybe prior relationships were actually really good ones and quite healthy. And then when you get into another relationship, you think it's all going good, everything's great, we smell good, we're going out doing the things that we love to do, and then we find that the layers of the onion come off and then the traumas come up. So it could get really difficult. And when you're dealing with someone else who has also not cleared out their emotional trauma baggage, then it becomes two people working at the same time or not working, because maybe sometimes one person wants to do the work, but the other person still is in denial and saying that it's all your fault, right? But you know from previous relationships that it's not really you. And yes, you could work on yourself, but it's best when you work on yourself before getting in a relationship. Now, if you're already in a relationship, there are things you can do to clear out some of the old emotional trauma. And I would start thinking about advanced clearing energetics, where you can actually go into your meditative state of mind and ask yourself a couple of different questions about what am I here to learn and how can I evolve? And, see what your body says to yourself. Because really when we're working with ourselves and we're starting to listen to who we really are, then we get to know ourselves on a better level, setting better boundaries, and then claiming into our life what it is that we really do want and cutting out everything that doesn't serve a purpose anymore. Sometimes it did serve a purpose at the time, but it doesn't serve a purpose anymore. So, gauging what it is that you want out of life is really important. And a lot of us have trauma that we gathered from our parents or our environment from the age of 0 to 7. And as we grow up, that little 7-year-old or younger wants to protect us. And once we get to a growth state, it becomes really important to, let the child know that, which I'm talking about your inner child, or the echo is what we like to call it, that it served a purpose at the time, but now it's time to let go. And we can go back in and work on creating a new memory, because a lot of us are living in memories of the past, but we don't really remember exactly what happened. We remember the emotion that got trapped in the body. So if we can go back to that time and really live out that trauma and then restate exactly what it is that we want. And then we equipped the echo with tools so that the child would then be able to create exactly the environment that she needed to be happy and thrive. So for instance, maybe it's a fight between parents and maybe the dad's fist goes through the door and the baby's crying in the background, and all of a sudden you find yourself flying across the room, hitting your head into the bed. That could be traumatic. So what you'll want to do is go back in there and clear out that trauma, because a lot of that energy gets stuck in your old body. So then you would equip the child with, or the echo, with the proper tools, and basically just ask your inner self, your inner child, what it is that they would want. And usually a child is very fun, and maybe they just want to go outside and run through the grass, and maybe it's summer and there's butterflies and flowers everywhere and a blue sky with some clouds. Maybe there's a swimming pool with some rainbow water that splashes over, creating a multitude of, fun colored wildflowers and a rainbow happens to appear. And, you know, you can equip them with that new memory and also any protection that they may need for like earphones so that they can't hear the negativity that's going on with the fighting of the parents. So it's really fun to be able to go back and clear out some of that trauma by creating a new memory. And that's what we call matrix re-imprinting. Another way to get rid of old baggage that no longer serves a purpose is to do an energy clearing. So you would like scan your chakras and see where it is that which ones aren't flowing correctly. Usually you'll feel a block. You can do this energy clearing on yourself, or if you have a partner, they can also help open the chakras and clean them out and then fill up with all of the divine light and close it down. You can do guided meditations so that you can see where the energy blockages are. So it could be a color meditations are also very good. And just breathing in the colors into all of the cells to see if there's a blockage, and then breathe through that and then get to the body flowing again with color. It is really important to establish a ritual practice so that you don't get disconnected from your spirit body and, you know, get disconnected from your emotions. So setting up a really nice ritual area is a nice idea. You can do it with the phase of the moon. So you could start with a new moon and set your intentions of what you would like to happen within the next 30 days. And you could use astrological correspondences about certain planets that may be transiting for you, or just to, you know, pick something and the appropriate time of year and go gather flowers or, you know, whatever it is that you want to learn. It could be like a little oracle deck that you decided you want to learn about power animals, for instance. So each little thing on the altar is something that's reflective of that which you would like to set your intention for. And when the new moon comes about, then what you would want to do is see what came to fruition. And you can start taking a journal and writing down the days and what your intention was, what happened along the way, and what was it that came to fruition for you. Keeping a book of shadows or a journal is always a good way to get your ritual practice into motion. So let's say you went ahead and you did your 30-day meditations. Now you can write it down in your journal and see what things was it on the altar that you had. So you can start listing things out. Like I had a bell or a moonstone because we're going to be having a solar eclipse. Maybe you have a sun or a moon, little images, or you could put make a little vision board with Canva, which I always like to use, and like keep those things in your visual area of where you're going to be and go and start to meditate on that every day. Let's see. Also, you can program water. So having a sigil or a intention with water is very good. When you're ready to drink the water, then you can have it and drink it. There is a way to make sigils, so you can make your own with your very own intention. You don't have to use somebody else's, you can use your own. So I like to use very specific entities. I like to make sure to have a lot of the elements. That way it's a full rounded altar. But when you're starting off in the beginning, you're not going to always have everything, every supply that you need. So when you start out, it's just good to be present and set the intention, maybe light some incense, put on some meditation music, get yourself centered, and then start focusing visually on like what it is that you want. You can feel that. So you want to use all your senses, and it will really change your life. You will start to feel like you're back in touch with nature. And, you know, waking up at a decent hour to get your sun rays in is always also very good. So, you know, breathing in that prana, breathing out what no longer serves a purpose, soaking in everything into your cells, and then letting it go. You can also use the practice of guided meditations, which also include past life regressions. It's very fun, and it can be also work to be able to access something in a past life so that you can work on having the abundance that you need in this life. And when we clear out old past life traumas, it sets us up for having something new in life to really absorb and to embrace. So that's always a fun thing, as well as Akashic record retrievals. So you can use the guided meditation practices that we would work on all those other aspects. So we would want to get in touch, get grounded, and let our guide come down and take us up the stairs to the library, where your book is specifically in a very special place, and it has all the pages in it of the past lives that you've lived, and even present life or lives and future lives. So you have access to different parallel realities, futures, pasts, and basically you would flip through these pages and land on one, and then visually jump into the page and go into the book as if it is your life right now. And you can see who you were, what occupation you may have had, what you look like, what your life goal was, and maybe something that was unfinished that you might be able to finish in this lifetime. Or maybe you could gather some skills from the past life and bring those skills into this one. So you can also go to future lives, parallel lives, and access the abundance, because you're living your life in a lot of different dimensions. So maybe you're very successful driving that car you want, living in the house that you really desired, having the kids, play all the sports, and do all the things in life that you've always wanted to do. In some reality, that is a possibility. And you can access that possibility and bring those aspects back to your life. The key point is that you really want to make time and dedicate a little bit of energy towards your spiritual well-being. So when you're feeling disconnected from your spiritual life, it's a good idea to write down the things that are important to you right now, and maybe write a list of what's not important and mark off some of the things on the list that no longer serve a purpose, and see what you can do. Feng Shui is also a very nice way to get the energy flowing back through the house again. So, you know, sorting through the things in the house that no longer are of interest to you. Maybe you don't want to have a certain cookbook. Then you just put it in a bag and you can donate it later. Maybe clearing out old clothes, anything that's broken, and focusing in on decorating the house exactly the way you want it, so that the life that you really desire comes to fruition. And that can be very fun. And I actually incorporate Feng Shui into my magic rituals and also my daily meditation practices, my astrological talisman creations. And I find that every time I learn something new, it gives me something bubbly in my solar plexus, and it just makes my whole entire body feel so good. So using all these energy techniques, clearing out techniques, meditations, past life regressions, clearing out the traumas, setting yourself up to have the tools that you need in order to get to the next stage is very important. And I implore you to check out those different aspects, and then leave your comments in the video section below. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.